Hi there, a very good morning and good afternoon to all of you, depending on wherever you're watching me. This Simply Talks, and I'm live in this live session with you all. And today on a Thursday, on a Sunday afternoon. So, a very good afternoon to all of you, and hope you're doing well and your weekend is going pretty well. So, today I'm going to talk about the markets in detail, and as well as we're going to talk about the agri sector. The agri sector has been doing pretty well, and the agri sector over the last 3 to 4 months has done well. But what you need to do there, plus which is the sector where you could probably accumulate the stock or buy stocks in which you're going to make a good amount of money. So we'll talk about all these points. So let's wait for more people to join in, as it's a Sunday afternoon. So more people hopefully would join in the next 4 to 5 minutes. So we'll then get this session on in earnest. So, Mr. Pawar, very good afternoon to you. Bhavin, hello to you as well. Uh, so this has been a very good day in terms of sports, with Neeraj Chopra winning the silver medal in the World Championship with a throw of over 88 meters, and he just pipped the number three athlete by around 4 centimeters. So a good performance, but looking forward to him getting past the 90-meter barrier soon. Hopefully by the Paris Olympics of 2024, he'll be able to do that. We have the Commonwealth Games starting next week, so hopefully there also we'll see a better performance, even better performance from him. Plus the second one-day international between India and West Indies is today, so looking forward to that as well. Be kind of very afternoon to you. We'll talk about FIIs as well a little bit when I talk about the markets to you too. See, so let's just begin with the discussion on markets, and then I'll come to the sectoral points. In terms of the markets, we are seeing now 16,600, 16,800 coming in. I think in terms of Nifty, I feel that there could be some amount of pressure from next a week onwards. But I believe that going forward, mid cap and small cap may do well for 1 or 2 weeks by 4th, 5th of August or the first week of August, and then even mid and small caps would fall. So this is going in tandem with whatever we had thought of in June. So if you look at my live sessions of June, you will understand that I have talked about the fact that July will be pretty good, and that has exactly what it has panned out. And early June was extremely bad, and you see where the market is in July. So it looks pretty good at the moment with respect to the market. Mr. Pawar, thanks for your contribution. Uh, Mastec at that 20% loss can hold for 3 years. If you can hold for 3 years, then there is no issue. This is a 1 to 2 quarter thing, a blip that has come in. I think the European economy per se should start performing from October, November onward. So, from the last quarter of FY23 and then whole of FY24 should be pretty good for the IT companies serving in UK. So, in 3 years' time, I'm pretty confident that your target is around 6,000 rupees at least, if not more. We'll see how the numbers pan out, but the whatever huge fall that had to happen in the stock has happened. There is a possibility that in August it may go to 1700, 1800, 1750, something like that, breach 1800. But I think the recovery should be good from October onwards. That's my assessment on Bestech. So thanks for your contribution. uh, Also, if any of you like to ask questions on a daily basis on your trades, on investments, everything, you can join the Patreon membership, or you can join the WhatsApp yearly membership as well. You can email me for that as well. So talking about the markets, I believe Nifty may fall from next week onwards, from as early as tomorrow onwards, because 17,000 seems a strong resistance. But mid and small cap could just perform for 1 or 2 weeks more, and then that fall will happen. So in my opinion, in markets, August could be difficult. Now I don't know how much the fall could be. It could just arrest around 16,000. It could go to 15, 14,000. We'll see how the intensity, or how much is the intensity of the fall is. But overall, I feel from September, mid September onwards, things will look pretty good. So it's a 5 to 6 weeks of pain that is left, in my opinion. And then we could have a streamlined move in the market. Now, where that streamline move will be, I'll talk about that in a bit. But where the market could see a lot of selling, that is what where I'm going to talk about. So the monsoon season is upon us. So main agri season is upon us. So normally, what happens is the markets itself take positions early and then book profits when things look extremely good on the ground. That has happened with all sorts of investments that you do. So, for example, in IT, if you would have taken positions in 2016, 17 in an Infosys or in other IT companies, you would have reaped the benefits by 2021. Similarly, in the same field like IT, and I have some investments here. So that's a disclaimer. But IT in such a despicable situation, in such uh, a demanding situation at the moment that nobody wants to touch it, that's where you invest, and then you make money when things really get going, probably in 24 or 25. So similarly, in the agri field, I have talked about buying into Sumitomo Chemicals, UPL, Coromandel, and many other companies I have talked about in January, February, March. Now is the time. If you would have bought in Jan, Feb, March, to book profits, make money, take home the profits, and wait for major declines and probably next season to buy into, I think by mid August you'll see these stocks go down at least 15 to 20% from here, and by September or end of September or so, they would be down around 20% or more from their peak. So not immediately, not that you sell immediately tomorrow. And I'm just talking of trades, I'm not talking of long term investments. But if you have taken trades in February, March, in all these kind of agri stocks, whatever stocks you have taken trade on, you're making good amount of money. And the summer stocks, be it Varun Beverages, be it other summer companies, be it a Blue Star, if you have bought it 800, 850, all those kind of companies, these are the times, not immediately, but in the next 1 or 2 weeks, to start gradually taking money off from there and coming back into cash for August. And then probably from September onwards, invest into the sector that I'll talk about, that I believe the sectors that are going to do well, or particular stocks, or sections of sectors that are going to do well. Probably you would have guessed it by now as to which sector I would talk about. But in my firm belief, I believe that agri as a space will have a scenario in which there would be heavy profit booking. All right. So why I am so confident on the fall is that not many people are confident about it. That is the major reason behind. The reason is that the market has gone up a lot. People don't realize that from 15,000 to 16,800 is a good 12 11 12% move. And if it goes to 17,000, that's a 14 13 14% move. There has to be some sort of retracement. I'm not saying that everything will go down to 14,000 on the Nifty, but we could have a 5 to 8% decline on the Nifty that would correspond to big falls or massive falls in particular or specific stocks between 15 to 20%. So that is why I believe that one has to be cautious if you are trading for short term, because then you're making 15 20% and then you lose 10% of it, you're left with very little. So that is probably the reason I'm saying this. And I'm not saying that we are going to get into a bear phase again. I'm saying it would be a normal correction for a few weeks, and then it would suffice that the market would continue to move higher. Now, for example, there is no correction and the market continues to go higher and do not fall, then be ready for an even bigger correction in late August and then whole of September. So that is all I want to say, that it is a game of greed and fear, and this just continues. I see more greed at the moment than fear. Fear was there in June, when we talked about it in late May, early June. So that's about the markets. Now, the sector per se as to which is going to perform, I believe that consumer centric sector, which has really done nothing over the last 1 year or so, should come back into focus. So something like a DMart. And remember, not that you buy immediately. I'm saying that once everything falls in August, the stock market falls, there is a good 6-7% fall in indices, then you look at this sector to buy into stocks which have fallen from the top, but looks like that they will perform in the festive season. So something like a Titan, something like a DMart, Vedant Fashion, a Nika, these Century Plyboard, these are Green Ply and all. These are top class companies to buy into. I'm not saying that I'm recommending any of these, but this is the texture of the, you can say, a sector or number of stocks that I would prefer buying into, or I would say that somebody should be looking to buy into. So you can look at consumer centric companies. You look at the numbers of Butterfly, Gandhimati, the way the numbers are panned out. Again, stock is extremely expensive. Wait for massive decline. Anything, you name it, in the consumer ancillary consumer space, you have the electronic space, you have the wiring space, anything in that frame, even the cement space, top class companies there uh, should end up doing well. Again, autos should end up doing well. I think Tata Motors, Maruti should do well. Then you look at ancillary companies. I've always talked about Jamna Auto, I've talked about Endurance Tech. Then there is Sona, BLW and all. Again, Asian Paints, Pidilite, Jubilant, absolutely, Ravi. These companies will perform and will again fall as well by March, April. But I think for 6 months or so from October onwards, these companies should perform well. And one has to build positions early. It's not that you build positions after a 8 to 10% move has taken place, because normally in a 6 months time frame, in such an environment, business environment as today, or an economic environment in India, it won't be possible that the stock will go up 40-50%. They could, but I think you will have a margin of making 25-30%, and if you lose 8 to 10% of that, you don't make a lot of money. So uh, I believe that it's important for people to get into positions and back those positions early. So again, when we talked about agricultural space, I talked about it in March. When I talked about the summer space, I talked about it in January. And things have played out simultaneously in the same manner. And normally that has happened. I have seen over decades, over the last 10-11 years at least, I've been in this market, that I've seen these things pan out like this, unless and until some event takes place like a pandemic or a war or something, then things get, or otherwise, if it is a streamlined market with no huge external event, uh, then there is a pure issue of buying at the right price and then waiting for the move to happen and then selling at the right price. That is basically the point. So consumer centric companies which you believe in the festive season are going to do well, pick them up in September, after the fall, August and late August and early September, and you will end up making good amount of money into those stocks, hopefully by Feb, March, and by February or so, you can again look at it. If the market is stable, if there is no huge external event taking place, then you can again look at some companies like Blue Star, VBL, etc., to buy into as a trade. So that is probably you can say a framework that you can follow. This is a framework that I have followed for some years at least, and now more or less I am looking to invest into companies rather than trade. So that's why I don't follow that strongly, that kind of a way of investing or trading. So that's my call on the particular stocks as to where you can probably buy into the companies. Okay, so I'm ready to answer your queries. Kindly use the super chat and super sticker feature that will help me grow the channel, that will help you ask me questions and eke out answers in greater detail. All right. I would say Bharti Airtel is an avoid. I think in the telecom space, it's better to stay with either Reliance because it's a conglomerate. Otherwise, you just avoid that space because of the kind of government intervention and the amount of spending that companies have to do for spectrum, etc. So well, that's the call. Ravi, yes, but the thing is, you cannot put a figure on where the market could head. What you need to do is you have to pick your horses or pick your targets and look at them in a way that, okay, if they are, for example, if I pick Asian Paints at 3,000 rupees, and this is pure example, no recommendation. Then if I say that, okay, if it goes down to 2,800, I'll be buying this at 2,800. It would be down by around 6-7% from the top, and I'll start buying. So you have to pick your stocks and take a technical call on that stock, that okay, if it is down 10%, 8%, if it is a large stock down 5 to 7%, I'll start buying, and it should perform by March. That is the only way you're going to make money, because if you keep waiting for pure levels on the markets, it may not come. For example, the market may just go to 16,000, 15,800, and may not go down at all and go to 18,000. So wait for stocks to have a level, and then just buy that stock and hold on to it. If it goes down, if the stock goes down, and if you see that goes down further than when you buy the stock, then that's it. I mean, you just wait it out for the recovery to take place. Okay, yes, absolutely, you have to be stock specific. See, both Fame and Suprajit is good. The thing is, Fame has gone through a big lull over the last 2, 3, at least 4 years. 4 years of very bad numbers because of the kind of business that it used to do. And again, their most of their business comes from Europe, so there could be some issue. But Suprajit has more business coming from US. So if you are buying short term, then Suprajit is probably my pick. Otherwise, if you can hold 3 to 4 years, then I believe that you can have a situation where FAM could do well. Vedanta, I think metals is a clear avoid. I have talked about it in detail in other live sessions, so you can go through them earlier. There are sessions with heading on metals, so you can go through it. Metals are complete avoid. See, HDFC, IDFC First Bank, banks per se, I don't agree with. I don't see that those banks, or any banks for that matter, or financials are the one to go for, except probably Bajaj Twins. Those are good companies to probably get into. I think tube investment on declines. Wait for the fall in August or September, in that period. And once it falls 15-20% from the top, that is where you buy. It's a top class company, tube investments. Is something that always go under the radar. Even I have not been able to buy it. I have bought into other companies, and somehow uh, this just goes away. So this is a stock. Uh, Probably somebody who can have a 4 or 5 year time frame can keep on accumulating on declines. So be kind. Thanks for your contribution. FII started buying after many months. Is it time to be bullish? Well, FIIs have bought, but what I fear is that FII have bought 3,000 crore, around about 3 to 3,500 crores in the last 3-4 months. Oh, sorry, 3-4 days or so. I think that they sell one day for 2,000, 2,500 crores. All your bullishness, all bullishness of ours would be gone. So wait it out, still wait it out for if you want to buy on that pretext that FIIs are buying, so let's be bullish. But I don't get bullish or bearish on purely on that front. I think wait out for a decline. I have a serious feeling that there will be a decline. There could be a chance we will go to 17,000 and then decline. There could be a chance we might not fall on the Nifty, we might fall on the mid and small caps. But simple thing is, you pick your targets, be stock specific, wait for declines in those stocks to buy into, and buy into companies which would perform well between October to March, that you believe are going to do well for the next 2-3 quarters. Okay. See, sugar stocks are a buy in again in September or so, not at this point of time. Something like a Mavana or a Dhampur sugar and all those, if you really want to trade into them, it's extremely risky. Buy it around the season for sugarcane and all in October. So just before that, again in late August, mid September is the time to buy into. Tatva Chintan, I am not looked at. I won't be able to comment on it. Okay. See, defense stocks you should have invested a year ago when the move really began, or at least by from March, April. Now the move has really taken in. I think I was going through it. BEL has got an 250 crore order just recently and all. It's very risky. If you really have a time frame of 5 6 years, and if you believe that the government is going to come back in 24 and all, then really get into them from that mindset, and from that pretext you're going to make a lot of money. At this point of time, from a short term basis, I won't say that you get into defense stocks. The move has been pretty sharp, the move has been pretty big in those already. Absolute avoid Brightcom Group. I would not buy into companies which go up in circuits and go down on circuits, and like that. It's extremely difficult to, you can say, gauge them unless you have an inside out knowledge on the company. You can do that. I don't have. I have in few, and I have invested in those. So that's the call. If you really want to go through my portfolio, then become a member, and you'll be able to do that. So Acrysil looks good. I was going through this stock. Acrysil looks good on a short-term basis, Manoj. You can buy here. Stop loss 580, 575, 580, and a target of 750 is a possibility by March or before that. So yes, but keep strict stop losses, and probably wait for 610, 615 levels to buy into Acrysil. Herenba, I am not gone through recently. I won't be able to comment on it. So Gujarat Ambuja export, yes, I was tracking that earlier. Looks okay, but I would prefer other kind of, you can say, consumer companies to buy into. If you're making money here, try to book profits in the next 1 or 2 weeks on the stock. See, Gland Pharma is a decent company to invest into. The point is where to invest. I would prefer buying when the market is complete disarray. So another way to look at it is to buy into a pharma or any kind of sector leader or a stock when the sector per se is in total disarray. Like in something like an IT, you buy into TCS now rather than you wait for TCS to go to 4,000 and then buy. So again, in something like pharma has had a move recently. Wait for a dip and then look to buy into it. Again, not a trade. See, do not take trades into stocks which have already gone up 15 20%. Would be very difficult. I give you another example. This is a stock I hold. Again, no recommendation, but just an example because I'm going through its chart. So this is Sequent Scientific went to 120, 121, and now is retracing back. So you have stop losses in place for that 50 and 100 DMA, but it could very well go to 100 rupees again and then go up. So it could go down another 10%, 11, 12% from here, and then go up again and still do not breach its lows. So what will happen is companies that have gone up 15 20% over the last 1 month or more can easily correct half of that and still be in a bull phase. So don't fall into that trap at the moment, or wait for declines and bearishness on stocks to buy if you are buying for more than 6 months time frame. Very good company, FL India. In fact, around 1,000, very good levels to buy into. I still believe it's a 2,000 rupees stock. In the next 18 months, 18 to 24 months, it could do extremely well, something like FL. So NBCC looks good. I think around 28 to 30 was a good level to buy into. But again, this is not. See, I have problem with infrastructure stocks. The thing is, the numbers are not coinciding with what people, or at least what I try to envisage in terms of sales and profitability. It's extremely difficult to forecast numbers. So it's extremely difficult to say whether the stock will perform very well. Probably what you do is wait it out, wait for the August September time to go away, and late September you buy into NBCC as a play on infrastructure and real estate post monsoon, and probably you will get 45 to 50 on the stock. So yeah, that could be one way of buying into it. Borosil Renewable is a very good stock from a long term point of view, not from short term. One can accumulate here and on dips from a 4 5 year point of view. So that would be the call. I've not looked at Indus Tower. I won't be able to comment on it. So won't be able to say anything on it. So Polycab, I believe, very good levels to buy from a 3 year point of view. I think it can go up 70 to 80% from here in the next 3 years. So you can probably buy here and on dips to 2200, 2150, very good levels to accumulate Polycab. India Mart is an avoid. I've talked about India Mart many times. That was a trade when the country was on complete shutdown. Now it's very difficult to say whether the performance would be the same, and there is more correction left there. So probably wait for that and then take a call on the stock. Minda Industries can be accumulated, have a 2 year time frame to buy here. Short term, I'm not that sure because there have been a move in auto ancillaries as well. I think something like a Jamna Auto around 120 is a better bet. That would be the call. Happiest Minds is good again from a long term point of view. I won't say that you buy here and you'll make money in 3 months. The chart has been completely broken. So I would say it's still expensive, but if you're buying from a 4, 5, 6 year point of view, then yes, you can accumulate here. Repco Home to me is an avoid the way the numbers have panned out. It would test your patience, Sridhar. So that's the only thing. The company is good, but it won't blast. I don't think it blasting in 3 to 6 months or so. Supriya Life Sciences again, Kushal, I have to go through it and only then tell you as to how things are. I have not looked at it in that manner. Equitas is a complete avoid. I think in the finance space, there are only one or two companies that really fits the bill. That's it. All right, guys. Thank you. Thanks a lot for being online. Please like and subscribe my channel. Hit the bell icon so you can get my videos straight away when I post it. Kindly support me on Patreon. Thank you.